All right, y'all. We got "You'll Never Look at Cam Ward the Same Way" by The Gridiron. Um, I'm I I'm sold on Shador being the best quarterback right now. I got to watch maybe more in detail. This video is kind of old, so this is 3 months ago. Oh, this is still like after the season, after the college football season. Um, I'm still sold on Shador being the number one quarterback right now, but I mean, Cam, I think his athletic ability obviously is better than Shador, but I think Shador as a passer is better than Cam from what I've seen. Uh mm, to each his own. And that's what it seemed like. It seemed like there's no to the majority of football fans, there's a lot who have Cam Ward number one, there's a lot who has Shador number one, and there's a lot who has neither number one, and they may have some other guy. I've heard Jackson Dart a lot, but or they have Jackson Dart too. But anyways, we're gonna get some backstory on Cam Ward today. So if you are not familiar with him, here you go. And I'm not super familiar with him myself, so
The way Cam Ward is running the Miami offense, you'd think all eyes have been on him for years. But that's not true. Coming out of high school, he had 0 D1 offers. Now he's a Heisman candidate.
And Cam Ward is the best University of Miami quarterback there's ever been.
Ward might even break a record this season, a record that is, by
that
many
accurate? Y'all let
accounts,
me know.
the ultimate college quarterback statistic. So how did Cam Ward build one of the best college careers out of nothing? To find out why he was so underrated, we need to look at his high school career. He went to Columbia High School in West Columbia, Texas. If you watched him play back then, you saw a true
bro, West Columbia. When I used to work for Amazon, I used to drive out there. I'm in Houston. I used to have to drive like an hour. Like they would send me on this route. I didn't care though. I liked it. I used to have to drive an hour to go and deliver out there. That's pretty crazy. Very rural. It's not like you. It's not super urban, but it's
commander
cool.
of the
It's a good
offense.
vibe out there.
Cam's dad spoke of his son's knowledge and leadership, stating that even in Pee Wee football, he used to tell other kids where they had to line up. But the problem when he got to high school was that his numbers didn't show much evidence of his skill level. His senior year, he only averaged 12 pass attempts per game. This was due to the team running a wing T offense, which employs far more running plays. This scheme is more common in high schools and small colleges. Most plays are designed with one wide receiver, one tight end, two halfbacks, and one fullback. One of the backs may start near
I don't understand why teams do stuff like this. Like in high school and college, like how do y'all expect to compete on the highest level of competition in your conference or division when you have a four formation offense with 14 plays, you know? I don't know. Y'all let me know. Have y'all ever seen that work out? I've seen that with certain high schools, and again, there's some colleges out there. They only run a limited amount of plays. They don't expand the playbook. You don't have to get complex. You just got to get creative, you know? And stuff like that where you're running the ball 40 times a game. That's wild.
the line of
40,
scrimmage and
50
then go in
times.
motion before the snap to cause defenses to react rather
Unless
than
you have the
attack.
talent.
It's an effective approach when
You
done
got Derrick
right,
Henry back
but
there?
it definitely
Cool.
does not pad the passing stats, and it makes scouts ignore a quarterback like Cam Ward. He ended up getting no D1 offers and only received one football scholarship from an FCS school, Incarnate.
Sorry, y'all. Uh, where I'm getting to with this here, situation is key. You can have the most talented player and he can be in the worst situation. That's what it looked like Cam was in. Talented player just in a bad situation. And just think of all the athletes that are never discovered, never even make it to the NFL because either in high school or college, they were really good athletes, really, born for the sport of football, but just again in a terrible situation, so they weren't discovered. And I think there are players like that in the NFL right now as well. And I see that too. I see some players, they will re-sign to a team because it's the team that they started with or it's the team that they've been on the longest. When there's another team out there that you would fit better with, but to each his own. Now, again, obviously, with it being circumstantial, is that a word? some of the players have no control over this, which definitely sucks.
Word. Ward accepted as this was his only chance. His first season there was shortened and postponed to the spring due to COVID. But in just 6 games, Ward showed out. 2,260 passing yards and an FCS leading 24 passing touchdowns. Not to mention 2 more rushing touchdowns. He won the Jerry Rice Award as the most outstanding freshman in the FCS.
What makes Ward so special?
Cameron Ward has maybe the best arm talent in all of the FCS, can make all the throws, and you'll see the deep ball when he moves out of the pocket. He may be the most accurate at any level in college.
In 2021, Cam Ward looked like he was in a video game where the settings were set to rookie level. 4,648 passing yards and 47 touchdowns with
That's
only
nice.
10 interceptions. He was the Southland Conference Offensive Player of the Year. He had
For a
become the
mobile
biggest
quarterback?
fish
That's
in the
nice.
small pond, so all eyes were on him as he entered the transfer portal. For the next season, Ward announced he'd be transferring to Washington State. So now in the Pac-12, would he stand out or end up being part of the crowd? Well, he started off his FBS career by throwing for 3,232 yards and 23 touchdowns with 5 rushing touchdowns, all with only 9 picks. The season after that, everything improved. He threw for 3,736 yards, 25 touchdowns, 8 rushing touchdowns, and even cut his interceptions down to 7. He more than proved he could operate outside of that wing T offense. Ward had 4 great seasons, and after that last one, he entered the transfer portal. He wanted a 5th year of college football, but 1 month later, he changed his mind to declare for the NFL draft. Ward felt he had showcased his talent enough. It was time to go pro. Analysts had varying opinions on where he stacked up against other quarterbacks. Some saw him as the 6th best QB in his class. Some saw him as the 8th best. Eventually, Ward landed a draft projection that, in all likelihood, had him going on.
I don't know if Shedeur talked him into this or maybe his team to pull out, but because I remember seeing a podcast with him and Shedeur on it, and Shedeur was talking to him about staying. And this was before this past senior season. Shedeur was talking to him about staying back. It was him, Shedeur, and I think some other quarterbacks are on there too. I could be wrong, but I think that's a very smart thing to do for players, especially with NIL now. If you know you're going into the draft and you have another year of eligibility, if you know you're going into the draft and you're going to be the 5th best quarterback, and again with NIL now, man, these players are getting paid. So I would just go again, just like he did, just like Shedeur did. I think Shedeur was looked at as a top 3 quarterback last year. If I'm in generally, he was looked at, I think, as a top 3 quarterback last year. But hey, to each his own. But now he's looked at as 1A, 1B. And same thing with Cam. I think again with NIL, man, if you have more years of eligibility and you're not looked at as the number 1 quarterback, I think going back to improve your stock makes the most sense. I feel like Cam, like he got these dark spots under his eyes. It's not as bad here. I feel like it's more bad now. I don't know if he's not getting rest or what. Bro be
On day 3,
be working.
maybe day 2 if he was lucky.
I took it personal. I tell myself every day that I'm the shit. So I wake up and I tell myself I'm the best player in the country every day, and I really stand by that.
This low grade made him reconsider his plan to go pro, and instead decided to return for a 5th year of college football. This final year was going to be with the Miami Hurricanes.
I see a guy that you train with, I believe. Tell me if I'm wrong. Cam Ward. If this was 5 years ago, Cam would have went pro. He wouldn't.
No, I told
think
Cam,
so?
but the thing was, we all transparent with Cam. We all be real with him. So I said, bro, you got to come back.
Moving from the Pac-12 to the ACC
Okay.
was seen as a step up in difficulty. So how would he do in this next level? What about the chance of hurting his draft stock in a potential down season? Luckily, Cam Ward has become an even bigger name now at the University of Miami. He's even developed another level of clutch to his game. If you think Cam Ward made smart moves,
Sorry, big dog.
with sheer dominance. Not only did they go 3-0, but they beat teams like Florida 41-17, Florida A&M 56-9, and Ball State 62-0. Those 3 teams never led at any point against Miami. Their 4th game of the season was against South Florida, And congratulations to them because they led the game for 5 minutes and 5 seconds in the first quarter, and again for 40 seconds in the second, and then lost to the Hurricanes 50-15. Cam and Miami were trampling the competition. He had thrown for 14 touchdowns and only 2 interceptions in that span. But then, they finally came across tougher competition. They played Virginia Tech next, who led 27-24 entering the fourth quarter, and then even extended that lead to 34-24 with around 12 minutes left in regulation. This is where Cam Ward started showing off his clutchness, throwing 2 touchdowns when his team needed them most, ultimately leading a comeback to win 38-34. Their next game was against Cal, where they faced a similar situation. The Miami Hurricanes were down 35-18 entering the fourth quarter, and Cal even notched another field goal to get a 38-18 lead with about 14 minutes left in the game. It was time for another comeback, an 18-yard touchdown pass to Isaiah Horton, then a 24-yard touchdown run by Ward himself, and with 26 seconds left, game on the line.
Martinez.
Oh, that's nice.
And then the flip out, and Arroyo gets into the end zone.
He led the Canes to a 39-38 victory. The very next week, another tough contest against Louisville. The teams went back and forth, trading scores all
I
game,
bet this was a
and
good
Louisville
game.
tied it up 38-38 in the beginning of the fourth quarter.
Tyler
Ward and his
Shuck and
offense
Cam
knew
Ward.
they had to separate, putting up 2 more touchdowns to eventually win 52-45.
Dang, bro. I kind of wish I watched more college football. I just don't be having the time, bro.
After 3 tough contests, they were able to beat Florida State handily. But they weren't out of the woods yet. It was Duke who was next, and with 10 minutes left in the third quarter, Duke led 28-17. Miami then took the remainder of the game to put on an incredible performance. They only allowed Duke 1 more field goal while their offense caught fire. They scored 5 touchdowns in the remaining 25 minutes of the game. 3 were touchdown passes by Ward. 1 was a beautiful toss over the defender's head that landed in the receiver's hands while he was in stride to go for 49 yards. And another was a bullet that led his receiver to run 66 yards.
Restrepo.
Miami beat Duke 53-31. That's 4 times early in the season he led his team to victory after being tied or trailing from the third quarter on. 2 of those times his team was down double digits in the fourth quarter when he led the comeback. Cam Ward has clearly shown his clutchness this season. He's proven he isn't fazed when the game is on the line, but is he only coming alive in pivotal moments? When we show you his staggering numbers, you'll find that Ward is so good so often that he's quite possibly going to break one of the ultimate college quarterback records. Cam Ward originally declared for the 2024 NFL Draft to be considered among the likes of Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels, 2 former Heisman winners. But he definitely increased his draft stock by coming back for a 5th year and is now a Heisman contender and possibly a frontrunner.
I think guys like Cam can actually benefit from coming back for that extra year, whereas in the past they probably wouldn't have.
When Caleb Williams won the Heisman in 2022, he threw 42 touchdowns, had an average of 9.1 yards per pass attempt, and a rating of 168.5. Most importantly, all those numbers were leading his conference. When Jaden Daniels won the Heisman in 2023, he threw
Jaden
40
went
touchdowns,
crazy.
had an average of 11.7 yards per pass attempt, and a rating of 208.0. Also,
You can't take excuse me, you can't take Jaden's passing stats only. His rushing stats were crazy. I think he had 1,000 rushing yards. Call me crazy. I think he did.
all numbers leading his conference. Through the first 9 games of Cam Ward's season with Miami, he has thrown 29 touchdowns with an average of 9.8 yards per pass attempt and a rating of 174.7, all leading his conference. He's thrown for 2,746 yards, which not only leads the conference, but it's something neither Williams nor Daniels led in their Heisman years. And those yards are going to be important. Taking all of Ward's seasons and up through the first 9 games of 2024,
Jaden Daniels' Heisman season was undisputed. Like, there's, in my opinion, there's no way he wasn't going to win a Heisman. The numbers were just crazy.
he has thrown for 17,022 yards. He just passed Landry Fields to become 5th on the NCAA's all-time passing yards list. There's a few more people he will likely pass in the next game or two, but could he take the number 1 spot? Currently, that spot belongs to Case Keenum with over 19,000 total yards, but it's a bit of a stretch. Most likely, Cam Ward could be number 2 all-time on that list.
Because Look at him. Every time I'm watching one of his games, it's more than 300 yards. It's 4 touchdowns.
With or without the record, he cemented himself as one of the better college QBs we've seen in a while. He and his team have put up 50-plus points 5 times in their first 9 games. He's a great bet to be the Heisman winner, and his draft stock is soaring as he had planned.
I think Cam Ward of Miami, still undefeated, by the way, very much in the race for a playoff spot, and perhaps the ACC champions as well this year. Looks like quarterback 2 to me. Cam Ward has been playing better football this year in Miami than he did at either stop prior in his college career. He continues to be trending up.
Thanks for watching. If you liked our video, be sure to subscribe and check out our other videos.
So he did end up breaking some record. I don't remember. I think it was the most touchdown passes in college football history or something like that. But yeah, I was surprised that Shedeur wasn't in the Heisman race. That actually surprised me. I feel like Shedeur is playing really good. I think when you look at the two, Cam had a better O-line. I think it's arguable to say Shedeur had better weapons at the receiver position. I think Cam had the better tight end. But I don't know, man. What this video does tell me, though, is both of these players know about adversity. I didn't know much about Cam. Again, 0-star recruit, had the transfer, work his way up. And with Shedeur, started at JUCO, went to where else did he play? That wasn't JUCO. I can't think of where he played at. But this Colorado's his third school, right? Where did they play at first? It was Jackson State to Colorado. But where did they go? Where was he at before Jackson State? Did he go to straight out of high school? Interesting. Anyways, though, but has played with lower competition and then worked his way up and still showed that he can compete with some of the best guys on the highest level. And I think, again, like I said, same thing with Cam. Worked his way up and showed that he can compete with the best guys and go out there and plays and looks like the better quarterback when he's out there on the field. So I'd have to watch them in detail, honestly, in order to have a clear cut number one. But I guess because I've seen more of Shedeur, I do like Shedeur a little better. But hey, good to again, like I said, watch a backstory on Cam Ward. So y'all let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Hit the like button, subscribe, stay tuned, stay blessed.